Hi Trisha. I just feel the need to say that, even though many of the things I'm going to say, they are how I really feel, I am saying them completely in jest. I'm not trying to push my beliefs on anybody. I'm saying the things I believe in a way that I find comedic, and hopefully you find them entertaining and not upsetting. I don't want anyone to be offended. But here we go. I am disappointed in you, Trisha. How dare you? You've gotten this far and you still haven't picked out your first dance. What is wrong with you? That's the most important part of the wedding. No one cares about the dress. It's a stupid dress. No one actually pays attention to it. 70% of the people sitting in the audience are just looking at it like, oh, she's wearing white. How original. I've never seen a wedding where the bride was wearing white. I'm going to put a list of all my favorite wedding type songs in the description. These are all of my favorite songs where it's just, oh, they're about, oh my God, I'm so happy that I'm in love with you. I'm so lucky I found you and blah, blah, blah. And so there's a whole bunch of them ranging from really sad, slow, you can cry yourself to sleep to this kind of songs, just all the way up to some let's get up and do the mambo with these type of things. So just a lot of my favorite happy and love songs, a list of it in the description if you want to check any of those out. Me personally, I prefer DJ, but it's not my wedding. You can do whatever you want. I just don't like live music. That's just me personally. I hate live music. I know, I'm weird, right? But whatever, we're not talking about me. Anyways, yeah. You asked about big projects I've done. I'm one of those guys that doesn't like to plan ahead and doesn't like to spend a lot of time on any one thing. Other than maybe video games and writing, there's very few things that I actually put any planning behind. It's just I do things when I feel like doing them. I don't really try to plan my life in advance. So I think the biggest long-term projects that I've worked on, knowing that I'm going to be spending a dedicated amount of time on this, have all happened very recently. One of them was a movie, a short film for school. I did it last year, 2014. It was at the beginning of the semester, starting in January. I was taking this film style production class, and I was teamed up with 2 other guys, and the 3 of us it was a 4-month project, the duration of the school year basically. Well, we spent the first 2 months just planning the script, just finalizing the script, getting that done, and then, the reason it took that long is because we hated each other. I mean, I didn't get to pick my own group. I was put in someone else's group, and their idea wasn't fully developed, so we're basically starting from scratch there, and we all have different ideas, because there was one person who he felt like he had pretty much checked out before we even started. He didn't even want to be here. Why did you sign up for this class, dude? You just kind of seem like you're just not at all invested. And the other guy, oh my God, just so many heads clashing, just he actually wanted to put a villain monologue in the story. Nothing destroys a movie worse than the villain monologuing. No. I know we're a student film, but hell no. I refuse to ever be part of a movie where there is a useless monologue. We don't need that shit in there. Anyways, so we spent more than 2 months just getting the script down. And then once we finally got that, we spent a couple of weeks finding actors to play these roles, finding locations to shoot in. Before, I think everyone else was already halfway through editing before we ever started filming. And we filmed it all in 2 days. And then we spent a month and a half just editing, which ended up kind of being in our favor, because the fact that we ended up spending 2 entire months in pre-production compared to other people who did it for a month, then they went out and shot, and then their stuff kind of ends up sucking, because there's only so much you can fix in editing. I mean, no matter how much sprinkles and sour cream or whatever you put on a pile of crap, it's still going to be a pile of crap under all this dressing. You know, so that ended up being a good thing for us, even though at the beginning we were the most dysfunctional. You know, it forced us to kind of work out all these issues, so it got to a point where, like, you know, by the time we got to the point where we, you know, actually started filming and editing, everything just kind of worked out, and we ended up having the best film. Like, it was supposed to be no more than 15 minutes, and we were worried about that, but like ours ended up like being 20 minutes long, and we had to cut stuff out. And everyone else, they had like 4-minute movies, and they were barely watchable. Hopefully none of them are subscribed to my YouTube channel. I've never told any of them about it, so I hope they haven't found it yet. But anyways, so that's one thing I did. So 4 months working on one 15-minute movie. And now currently I'm working on another project with some friends from college. Different friends, ones that I'm actually choosing to work with. But of course, you're still gonna have issues. We started this like the week before spring break. I called them up and I was like, hey, let's do something. Cause like I'm tired of doing other people's projects. I want to do one of my own. And so, like, unfortunately, you know, when we sat down and actually discussed, you know, would we be able to do this, most of the stories I had, they ended up kind of being like, no, we won't be able to pull that off. And so we started working on this new original story, and as we're writing each draft, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, you keep making these changes, but the changes you're making are going to make it much harder on us to actually pull this off. Are you sure we're okay with this? And he's like, yeah, don't worry about it, we'll be fine. And I'm like, are you sure? Because I don't want to waste 2 months on a script that we end up throwing out because we're just not able to pull it off. And he's like, don't worry, it'll be fine. Guess what? Month and a half later, he's like, I don't know if we'll be able to do this. And I'm like, you anyways, like, you know, he was busy with like school and work and all that stuff. Like, I got my degree in December, and I'm like, I'm taking this break from school. It was just an associate's. I might go back for a bachelor's, who knows. But for right now, I just kind of want to see what I can do on my own in life, and then I'll consider going back for more. Because as fun as school was, like, yeah, I don't want to be stuck there for another 5 years, and I just rather see like if I can make something happen. And so right now we're working on another script, because while he's in the middle of finals, I'm just like, fuck it, I'm just gonna write a script on my own. And so now we're working on a web series. I wrote the script I wrote the rough draft completely. It's like an 11-episode series, and I sent it to him, and he's like, this is actually pretty decent, and blah blah blah. So we've got that, and we've also got 2 short films that he was working on in his spare time. And all of these things would be relatively easy to film, like very limited locations, limited number of actors, you know, wouldn't need a lot of special effects or anything. They're all character driven. So now we're working on those projects, and hopefully we'll be able to get those done in summer. And, you know, maybe, I don't know, if I gotta ask him if he's going back to school in August, so, because then we need to try to get it all filmed before then, and then, who knows, hopefully those will start. You know, because we've got scripts written, storyboards down, currently, you know, like looking at actors and locations, so that's moving along. So that's a project that's already taken since like, spring break, like March, April, May. We're already in the 4th month, so this is the longest I've ever been on any project that wasn't a video game or just writing a story that I liked. But, you know, my stories can take years at a time, just because, like, I'll write it for a few days, and then I'll go a few months or even a few years without looking at it, then I'll go back and finish it. So this is like the longest time I've ever spent on any one project, other than, like, you know, like I said, like a video game or anything. But even those, like, Kingdom Hearts, maybe a month or 2 to beat it, because I play like one level a day and then something else. But, you know, so yeah, this is all new territory for me, and I'm very sweaty because I live in Texas. Also, another thing, I want to have barbecue at my wedding. I don't even like barbecue, which sucks because I live in Texas. But I want to have barbecue at my wedding just so I can say I have barbecue at my wedding and laugh at the faces that people give me when I tell them that I had barbecue at my wedding. I know, just completely random tangent, but whatever. So yeah, currently we're working on 1 web series and 2 short films, which hopefully we'll be able to complete those and put them online by fall, and get those out to you. You can start watching those, and who knows, depending on how much of an audience we can get, we might be able to do either crowdfunding or maybe just show this to like a small production company. See, like, hey, this is what we can do with no money. Imagine if you gave us $1,000, we could make you $1 million. Either we have a lot of options open to us. We're exploring different possibilities. So, yeah. Oh God, I'm sweaty. Yeah. So yeah, Trisha, look in the description. See the list of all my favorite songs. You don't have to pick any of them, but if you do, just please be free to tell me, because I like to know that I made an impact in people's lives. So yeah, just look at some of those songs if you haven't already decided by the time you watch this video. Naked on Me, but I don't have an outro. I never bothered coming up with one. But you know what I am going to do? I'm going to go ahead and take a shower. I've had the AC off for 5 minutes. I'm already drenched in sweat because it's like 100 degrees right now. Jesus fucking Christ.